What's going on, everybody? This is your man John Fortune, and here we are again, another edition of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. Well, I want to get right into this game and what happened and what we should be looking forward to as we keep creeping along on this Washington Redskins season. First, I want to say, hands down, we have to congratulate Josh Johnson for doing such an excellent job when it came to playing the game the way it should have been played. Even though he didn't have what we would consider a stellar superstar game, he did everything he needed to do to win us this game. And this goes back to what I said in my last podcast where I talked about the state of the black quarterback. It's a shame at how they brought in Mark Sanchez first before they brought in the black guy who actually knew Jay Gruden's offense a little bit better than what Mark Sanchez knew. So with that being said, let's break into the game. First off, I have to say this. I still don't like Greg Minuski as a defensive coordinator, but our defensive team actually stepped up yesterday. And it seems, though, that the team actually played with more heart this time. Clinton Dix showed up for once. We had the Alabama wall actually play and became a wall. Ryan Kerrigan actually got a couple sacks in the game. He actually had some tackles, some major tackles. And everything just seemed to be clicking. Even though we're still struggling on offense, especially with some of the wide receivers. I mean, again, I've always felt that we needed wide receivers. But win is a win. Victories are a victory. The sad part about all this is that even though Dallas lost yesterday and Giants lost yesterday, the Eagles won last night. And the sad part about that is that now the Eagles got that one game ahead of us where we can mess around and not be in the playoffs. Another downside is that we see the Tennessee Titans in the next game. So I'm not really sure how we're going to go about this, how everything is going to really pan out for us. Again, it was a good game. There were some things that I still have issues with. Some of the calls kind of just seem like at some point they got to let the players play. And for once, Jay Gruden actually coached better than the other coach for once. So again, they did really good, but there were points in times where, certain things just didn't pan out. And maybe a lot of this change that happened yesterday had a lot to do with the way Mason Foster was sitting up there talking about the team gave up and they wasn't nothing and can't wait to the end of the season and everything. And I guess that forced them to play. So I'm happy that they won, but there's still things that needs to happen. Again, I take back the fact that we might lose all our games, but I still don't see us making the playoffs because we've lost too many vital games that we really, really needed. So with that being said, good win for the Redskins. Everything should be fine. The topic I'm actually going to get on today has more to do with the Washington Wizards and the state that this team is in. Ernie Grunfeld is a crappy general manager, and that I don't think is going to change anytime soon. This guy went out there and traded away Kelly Oubre Jr. and Austin Rivers for Trevor Ariza, a guy who was with us some time ago, who was good some time ago, but the guy is slow now. He's lost a step, which is why Houston was willing to let him go in free agency and everything like that. And here we are picking this guy up. This is, again, a great example of why Ernie has to go now. Because, again, we're in a situation where we can't make the decisions that we're making when it comes to this team because we constantly act like we're fixing something that needs a little bit more help when in actuality, this thing needs to be blown up. I mean, one, I don't even understand why in the hell did we sign Otto Porter to that huge damn contract. I had issue with it before then, and I still have an issue with it now. And then we got Dwight Howard, who hasn't played at all for us. I mean, the funny thing about that is that this man has been out with a butt injury. And then all of a sudden we get the rumors that came out where this man was messing with transvestites, man. And we don't even know what to do with this guy. I mean, this guy set up here and has been absolutely nothing for us. But we already knew he was going to be nothing even before he got here. I tell everybody, you know, when an all-star player or a superstar player or a future Hall of Famer says that a guy is no good, what you should do is listen to this guy. Kobe Bryant, when he was with the Lakers, Kobe Bryant sat up there and said Dwight Howard is a bum, he's soft, and he's always injured. He's not a really good player, and he's too sensitive to any type of criticism that comes his way. And what do? Ernie Grunfeld does what he normally does. He went out there and he signed this guy to a contract for basically nothing. This guy is basically pulling what I call the Tim Thomas. He plays well enough to get another contract, but once he gets that contract, he does nothing for that team. I mean, this guy has been at so many different leagues, and it was a guy who actually at one time really had potential to be something great. But again, this guy's just not that good. And I still don't understand why we would trade two guys. I mean, did it really need to take Kelly Oubre and Austin Rivers to really get Trevor Ariza of all people? I could see if we were getting maybe DeMarcus Cousins or maybe even Kemba Walker or Tyreek Evans, somebody who can do something. Not a guy that is basically not even on the list of top quality guys that we need. And then even with that, you now created another backlog because now you already signed Jeff Green. Now you're bringing in Trevor Ariza and you already got Otto Porter. I mean, what was even the point of trading for this guy? It's the dumbest thing. It's one of, again, a long list of dumb things Ernie Grunfeld has done for this team. And here we are again in a situation where we're never going to get out of this problem because Ernie Grunfeld is just a complete dumbass. I mean, I don't get, for the sake of me, at how Ted Leonsis sits up here and keeps Ernie Grunfeld around all this time. But yet he was quick to fire George McPhee, who basically built two championship teams. I mean, we tend to forget that basically we saw the Capitals in Stanley Cup Finals win the Stanley Cup against another team that George McPhee built. And yet and still, he's keeping Ernie Grunfeld around, who can't build a constant winner to save his life. I mean, I am at the point now where it's so frustrating as a fan of the Washington Wizards to see them in a state that is just almost unrecognizable. I mean, we have had crappy general managers in this DC area for a very long time. And again, it's the thing where we just stick with these guys. I don't understand for the life of me why we stick with people like Bruce Allen, why we stick with Vinny Serrato, why we stick with Ernie Grunfeld. What was Abe Poland's loyalty to damn Wes Unseld? I mean, Wes Unseld made more mistakes than a little bit, and this man kept his job forever. I mean, absolutely forever. And again, here we are again. Ernie Grunfeld, he drafts terribly. He signs terrible players. And I tell everybody, I still feel he was duped on that Jordan Crawford deal. I tell everybody, that year he traded for Jordan Crawford. And this is when Danny Ferry was the general manager of the Atlanta Hawks. And everybody knows how dirty Danny Ferry is. I think what happened was that they sat up there and they told Ernie Grunfeld that, went down there and said, you know what, I want to trade for one of the Crawford boy. And all of a sudden, Danny Ferry sat up there and said, oh, you want Jay Crawford? And they were like, and he said, yeah, I want Jay Crawford. And then all of a sudden, he got Jordan Crawford instead of Jamal Crawford. And all of a sudden, right after we made that deal, the following day, they traded Jamal Crawford to the LA Clippers. Ernie Grunfeld has got to go. We've signed too many players. He's had too many chances. There's been too many mistakes. And now the Wizards are in disarray. I mean, they sit up there and they get up to play the Lakers with LeBron James. They sit up there and they get up to play the Golden State Warriors. They get up and they want to play against the Boston Celtics. They want to get up and want to play against the Toronto Raptors. But when it comes time to play Indiana, somehow, some way they know how to lose. When it comes time to play somebody like the Charlotte Hornets, they don't know how to play. When they sit up there and it's time for them to play any team that's lower than them, like the Miami Heat. How do you lose to the Miami Heat as often as you do? But yet you could beat the Lakers. And maybe in reality, we're going back to what we saw years ago when Michael Jordan used to when they used to advertise back in the day where it was like, come see your Washington Bullets face Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. That's how bad the team was back then. They used to have to advertise other players just for people to come out and watch the games. I don't remember ever seeing a commercial where they used to say, come and see Calbert Cheaney and your Washington Wizards or your Washington Bullets play Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. Come see Michael Adams as he fouls out of a game or as he hogs the ball. Play Reggie Miller and the Indiana Pacers. No, we never got that. All we ever saw was bum-ass guys constantly come here. And here we are again. From the Wes Unseld years all the way to the Ernie Grunfeld years. Hell, even that one little stint that Michael Jordan did, that was a goddamn shame. I mean, Michael Jordan went out there, drafted Kwame Brown, and for what? Missed out on, wasted a first-round draft pick on Kwame Brown, who wasn't even the best high school player coming out of that draft that year. I tell you, man, I mean, I don't understand why the D.C. area just loves crappy general managers. I mean, here we are with Bruce Allen, who's ruining the Redskins. He doesn't care. Every time you turn around, they say he's in the hunt for the general manager job out there in Oakland. He's been crappy. I mean, he's been better than Vinny Serrato, but he's been just as crappy. You know, Fan Snyder, he loves those general managers that just makes him more feel like a real owner and more feel like a fan and just go along with all the things that he wants instead of sitting up there telling him no. And here we are again, Ted Leonsis, sitting up here again, Ernie Grunfeld. I mean, he's just as bad of an owner as Abe Poland was, who stuck with Wes Unseld for years. And he demolished the team. Absolutely demolished the team. And here we are again. Stupid old Trevor Ariza for Kelly Oubre and Austin Rivers. You got to be kidding me. I mean, that's almost like trading a rock for a brand new car and somebody actually feeling that the rock was more valuable than the car. I mean, it's a shame. It's an absolute shame. And I don't even understand why we haven't gotten to the point at where we just don't care anymore. I mean, John Wall, he went out there, played against the Lakers, scored 40 points. Bradley Beal sat up there and scored 25. LeBron James had about, 13, I think he did. But again, you talking about now, we coming back. Trevor Reese is going to be on the team. We got Sam Decker who showed up, but I mean, what was he prior to coming to the Wizards? I mean, hell, we got Bogdanovich sitting up there and frying us every time we see Indiana. And he did nothing for us, and we gave up a first-round pick for this guy. Ernie Grunfeld has to go. Ernie Grunfeld has to go. And I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of y'all that agree with me. So this is what I want y'all to do. Leave y'all comments, like, subscribe, and I just want to say, man, we need better general managers, better head coaches. We need all that in this DC area if we ever expect to see another championship. I mean, at the end of the day, we might see one again with the Capitals. They look like they're doing pretty good. Alex Ovechkin looked like he actually understands now what it takes to win a championship. So, like I said, y'all, like, subscribe, leave comments, and this is your man, John Fortune, for the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.